let's get into the topic because we have a lot to cover with this, and I think to start with the current state of the MCU and the future state because we got the movie slate, we got Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, we got the Marvels. So we're gonna see Monica Rambeau again. We know, we've seen her last in WandaVision. Now we know, we don't know for a fact, but it's kind of obvious in a sense to see her in the Marvels. But man, there's so much that Marvel is just hitting out of the park. And for one, which I was reading some speculation on the internet, which I think would be really cool. I'm already getting the chills for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. It kind of had that like silver slating outline of the logo that's kind of reminiscing of Doctor Doom. And how interesting would that be to bring in such a huge villain in the MCU through that movie? I mean, we also got the teaser for the Fantastic Four, so it's not too crazy. It's not too far off. Like, what would you guys think? Doctor Doom in the MCU.
I was actually gonna pose that as like a later on question if we got to it, but it sounds like we're getting to it now. So I was gonna ask you guys, like, who do you guys think is gonna be the next big bad going forward, or is there gonna be multiple big bads or just one like Thanos? Is it Doctor Doom? It sounds like Ty, you're onto something a little bit, especially with the tease of Fantastic Four coming out. That would be a really great villain to see on screen. I know we saw it with the old Fantastic Four, and Julian McMahon played Doctor Doom. I really liked him on Nip Tuck, but I mean, he I think he kind of jumped into a world that wasn't really his boat. Also, the writing was terrible for that movie, but
yeah,
I digress. It would be awesome to see that because I know in the comics I really loved him as a character, and it would just be awesome to see them centered around like a new fresh villain, right? And it would be a really cool one for Doctor Doom.
I also think that Marvel's gonna go the route of multiple villains, because if that's the teaser for Doctor Doom, then there's Kang the Conqueror has been cast, and then we have the Armor Wars, which we've seen Sharon Carter through Falcon and the Winter Soldier, who's now gonna be in control of some powerful government secrets and weapons, who she's gonna give out to God knows who. I think there's going to be a ton that the Avengers or multiple different versions of the Avengers will have to take on. And it's actually really exciting. At first I thought that, it might be too much, but it's actually very cool to see like how these heroes and characters, if they go this route, have to separate and, not really come together, but hone in on different villains and not be a united front in a sense.
Absolutely, dude. Kev, I want to get your opinion on this because I know we probably have a lot to say on that.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say that 3-minute, however long it was, trailer that we got. First off, to hear the great late Stan Lee's voice over it,
man,
was pretty. There was a lot of different emotions going on. We'll just say that. To see that and to have them announce, and this is phase 4, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, man, it got me super excited because it put me in that mindset that I've had years ago, pre-pandemic and all this crazy bullshit that's going on. All of a sudden I was back into the whole, oh my God, the MCU's continuing. Like I completely forgot about everything else. All of a sudden I got super excited to eventually maybe go to the movies again and experience all these films in the movie theater with other fans. And I know, and trust me, you can go back on episodes, and there was a time when I did say, you know what, maybe movie theaters are not a thing anymore, and streaming services, like this is just the way of the future and we just have to deal with it. And I think I'm okay with it. But there was something about this that went, no, you know what? I miss seeing, the going to the premiere of like Infinity War or Endgame and being with everybody that they're all there for the same reason, and that nobody knows each other, but at the same time they do because everybody's a fan. And to experience this kind of stuff with a group of people, there's nothing that beats that. I mean, when they show that segment in the trailer where Cap says Avengers Assemble, Come on. I watch that scene sometimes on YouTube
Yep.
with the fan reaction.
Yep, same,
Just to
dude.
like get myself
Dude, I get the
Me
chills
too, dude.
every time watching it. It's like
It's incredible.
man.
it was such a great moment to actually be a part of, and like being in theaters with that. It's just, you know, I'm pretty much sure that we've all went opening weekend. I'm not 100% sure, Marcus, if you did or not, but like I went on opening weekend, and
You know
what
I
an
did.
experience,
You know I did.
man! Like it just made it so much better. You know, everyone reacting the way they did, everyone feeling the same emotions at the same time. Whether it was Infinity War when Thanos snapped and the theater was just dead silent the whole time. Everyone was in shock about how that film ended. And then you flash forward to Endgame, and then you have the on your left and the Avengers assemble. Everyone's going nuts. Like, I'm in the chills just talking about it. It just, that's what I miss. Like, I'm going to go see these films in theaters. And, you know, I hope movie theaters do stay successful for years and years, because it's that kind of emotion and experience that I love from theaters. One of my favorites was seeing Jackass 2 in theaters opening weekend. Just the, you know, the surprise, the shock value of some of the pranks they did, and it's just sometimes, man, you just need to experience these things in theaters.
Yeah. I miss it. I think a lot of us miss it, and I think it's films like this that are going to bring people back to the theater.
Yeah.
We have a great slate of movies coming up. I've looked over the list, and I really can't tell you which one I'm most excited for. There's something about, I think it's the logo with Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantumania. That looks like a ride at Disney World, kind of fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I loved Ant-Man, and I love Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, and Paul Rudd is one of my favorite comedians of all time. So I'm very excited for that film. I did want to propose a question to you guys. Marcus, I didn't know if you wanted to say some more, but I did have a question for you guys. But if you want to elaborate more on what these slate of films, go ahead.
No, I think probably where you're going is probably what, you know, where we're headed with that. If you're going to start to talk about like what movie we're excited about seeing out of all these upcoming movies.
Well, there's one in particular that I had a question about.
Okay.
With Wakanda Forever, which is a brilliant title, by the way. I think that's probably my favorite title out of everything. With everything that's happened, with Chadwick Boseman passing, that title is just spot on, perfect.
I still can't believe he's dead. It was so shocking that day.
Well, that sort of leads into my question. Is I know Kevin Feige and Disney and everybody at Marvel Studios have agreed to not recast T'Challa. So my question to you guys, my opinion is, I feel as if the character of T'Challa is so important to not only the MCU, but just the Avengers as a whole. I think he's a crucial part to the team. So I understand it. And listen, I mean, come on. Like, again, Kevin Feige's, what he's done over the past 10, 11 years.
15,
he knows.
think.
How long has it been?
I think it's been 15.
Holy shit. 15 years, however long it's been. He's proven that he knows what he's doing, right? So I'm assuming we're going to get something pretty great, and I'm sure they're going to honor Chadwick Boseman in a very professional and just a proper way, a proper send-off. However, I am on the side of, I wish they would have recast T'Challa, because I just think his character and what Chadwick Boseman was able to convey in that character is so important and so great that I would love to see T'Challa continue in the MCU, but it obviously doesn't sound like they're going to go that route. So I wanted to ask you guys your thoughts on that and which side you are on.
Well, so I was looking at a lot of Facebook arguments on the same post, you know, that was that whole slate of future films, and a lot of people were arguing about, bring back T'Challa. Shuri's going to take the mantle. You know, I think T'Challa is such an iconic character, and it's such a big figure that I think you do need to recast him. I think you honor Chadwick Boseman in the right way, but for such a standout character within the MCU, it's tough to see him not get recast. And you know, I don't think you'd see, Tony Stark get recasted. Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark get recasted, and there's plenty of debate issues there, you can say. But one thing I saw in particular was, I think they're going to go forward with Shuri as Black Panther, which happened in the comics. But another argument I saw in those comics was that Shuri gave back the title of Black Panther to T'Challa because at the end of the day, it wasn't well received by the fans that the route they went with her. Obviously, Kevin Feige and the MCU, they could probably tell a hell of a story to make Shuri flourish as Black Panther. But at the same time, like I said, I think T'Challa is just such a big name that we only saw such a small glimpse of what could have been, and I think you need to expand on what will happen with him in the future. If
well
they
said,
ever bring it.
well said.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I agree, Ty. That's great. I have a different theory. So, do I think T'Challa should be recast? Yes, but hear me out here. I'm gonna throw a word out to you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Multiverse. So, my thought: people really liked Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger.
Oh shit! Okay.
When Spider-Man comes out and Doctor Strange comes out and they start opening up the can of worms that is the multiverse. Suppose they go to another world, right? And in that world, T'Challa is Michael B. Jordan. And they bring him back to whatever Earth that they need to be on. Or they don't, but when there's big battles, they come together. But Michael B. Jordan can be recast as T'Challa. And a lot of people really loved him and his character as well, so maybe they have something up their sleeve.
I hope
they don't need to kill off T'Challa, but they just pull a different one from a new universe.
Interesting. I had actually thought about that too. I thought about what if it's so weird you say that. I think I saw like a fan art thing of Michael B. Jordan and I thought, well, what if you brought him back somehow and he took over the mantle as Black Panther? Would that work? So it's really interesting you're bringing that up. Ty, I think you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
No, I think that's great. I would be all for that. Michael B. Jordan, tremendous actor, and was my favorite part, of Black Panther. He was just amazing as Killmonger, and his presence on screen as the character was just perfect in every sense of the way. And I think that would be a great way to go. Honestly, mostly everyone loves Michael B. Jordan, and I think he would be a great T'Challa. We've seen him in the Black Panther suit, maybe not with the purple, but with the gold. And I'd be all for it. And I think the multiverse opens up a lot of potential for things to happen like that. And, they said that they're going to do justice to, Chadwick Boseman. And I can't wait to see how they do that. But I think using the multiverse to your advantage would be perfect in, keeping T'Challa alive.
Totally. Yeah. That ties into it's. I think in the What If show that's coming up, Killmonger is playing a part in that show. I think, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Like I saw when they showed, I don't know, it might have been like a sizzler reel or something, but I thought I saw him in there, and he's going to be voicing him. So if they're keeping him around, you never know. Maybe we'll see. But I don't know about recasting him with a completely different actor in the same world, in the same universe. I'm not sure that I feel very strongly about that. If you're going to do that, then just give the mantle to somebody else and let them do it. But if you are going to keep T'Challa alive in the MCU, it would be cool to pull him from a different universe as somebody else. But it would be a nice, easy transition into that.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting idea, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. Like I said, I have all the faith in them, and I'm sure they're going to handle this in the best way possible. And I believe that whatever we get, I think us as fans will have some sort of fulfillment from whatever we see. I don't know. Now I keep talking about it. Now I'm like, wait, am I most excited for Wakanda Forever? Just because I feel like that movie's gonna be like a tearjerker, like an emotional roller coaster of a film.
I think
to be honest with you,
I think I'm equally excited for all the films. Just like
yeah,
Multiverse of Madness for Doctor Strange, like that's
yeah,
gonna
dude.
be nuts.
Dude.
Like that,
Going like a horror route or something.
yeah,
like
like
that,
my
so-
expectations for that film are high, and I think it's gonna hit. Like it's just, and then the new Spider-Man film, like I don't even know.
I don't even know what to
Shang-
expect from the
and like,
Spider-Man film.
and that's even that's to come. We got Shang-Chi coming up, and that trailer was
That was
epic as
sick.
hell, man. Like Marvel is just murdering it. Like they have nothing to worry about. I'm so excited for each of these films, and I know a lot of people were talking bad about Captain Marvel and Brie Larson's version of it, but at the same time, like we saw her in pretty much one film. We saw her kick ass in Endgame, but I feel like give her a chance. Let's see how the Marvel's movie pans out. I think she'll do great. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think there's a lot going towards that film that will help her and her, I guess,
her
co-act-
image.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, she's not perceived very well right now, is she? Well,
No.
I don't think she ever has been really.
No.
And interesting enough, she filmed all these Endgame scenes before she did her Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
That's kind of a mind fuck right there too, right? Like they're
I
trying to
didn't
tell
know
you
that.
like, look, you have a thing coming. Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay.
They told her like, look, your cast is Captain Marvel, but obviously Endgame is coming out first, and your movie is going to come out later. Or no, her movie came out before.
first.
Right?
Yes, it came out before.
But I guess they
Endgame.
shot everything when Infinity War was happening because
Yes.
since it was back to back.
Yes.
So they had to have her shoot her Endgame stuff first
Correct.
before she did Captain Marvel. So that's interesting that she had to figure out that character like quickly
Yeah.
on the spot, and then she got to explore it a little bit more in the movie. I wasn't initially as excited to see that movie, but afterwards I was like, okay, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm down. It was a nice introduction story. Then you get to learn about her. We'll see, like you said, Ty. We'll give it the sequel and we'll see what happens. But it is interesting that she's gonna have a team now, like around her to help carry the movie, and it's not gonna be her legitimate solo film with her on her own.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other movies, like Captain America and Iron Man, like we had other people coming in helping him. I mean, obviously, nobody's gonna carry a movie like Robert Downey Jr. can. You can just put him in a room by himself and like just turn the camera on and let it go. But we'll see. I feel like the Marvels is probably one of my lower on the totem pole movies that I'm excited about watching. Not that I don't want to see it. Obviously, I'm going to be first in line to watch it. But out of everything that was announced, I think it's so hard to pick one. Because whenever I was on the podcast with you guys, I think the first time it was the top 5. What was it? Or top 3
Oh, top
Top
three.
three.
Super.
It was
comic
top
book
three,
films. Yeah, like
Mhm.
underrated ones. Or no, it was just our top 3 in general.
Top 3 in
right?
general. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I listed Doctor Strange as one of my top 3.
that's right.
So I think that I'm probably most excited for that to come out, the sequel. I've been waiting a long time for that one. And it sounds like there's going to be a lot of guest spots too.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man will be there. Some other people will be there. It'll be cool to see all that happen. Wanda will be there, especially after the show we just got. On the other hand, I'm really pumped to watch Thor because I love Thor. After Ragnarok, the direction that they're just taking the franchise with that, I just love Thor. And I'm totally down with the whole Hulk Hogan 80s vibe, neon colors and
Yep.
just fun. Like that sounds, and it looks like a really fun movie. I can't wait to watch both of them. I guess if I had to pick, man, it's hard though. I think I'm gonna stick with Doctor Strange though.
Kev, what are you least excited for?
Least excited for?
Yes.
I would say the least excited for is probably the Marvels,
Okay.
and the only reason I say that is because Captain Marvel solo film didn't really do it for me. I think it's on the lower end of my top MCU films. And that's the thing is I Brie Larson is a great actress. She really is. I know she gets a lot of shit for playing the role of Captain Marvel, and she may have even got a little bit of shit from me as well. And I don't know what it is. I think sometimes I have a hard time believing her as the character. And I just think that movie wasn't as strong as I was hoping it was going to be. And so with that being said, I think that's just why I that movie in particular, I'm not so excited for, because I think if I came off of Captain Marvel really stoked and like, holy shit, like I can't believe what I just saw. I cannot wait to see more of her. I didn't feel that way. So that's probably the lowest on my list.
See, I didn't hate Captain Marvel's movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was interesting because I don't know much about Captain Marvel as it was, so it was interesting to learn about the character. For me, my two films that I'm least excited for are Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantuminium, and Guardians Volume 3. Because the prequels to those, you know, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then also Guardians Volume 2, to me were just such letdowns. You know, I think they were at the bottom for me in the MCU. I thought Guardians Volume 2 was, I've said it before, was way too forced with the comedy. You have such great actors and actresses who can hold their own and make good jokes and make it real and funny. And I felt like they just kept throwing stupid jokes in just to say, hey, look, we're funny, we're goofy, when you didn't need that. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp, just that whole film was just such a bore to me. I wasn't intrigued. So for me, those two films have a lot to make up for. I think they need to rethink how they structured both those films and throw away those previous ones and write it completely differently. I think if you take what you did in Guardians 1 and throw it in Guardians 3, they'll do great. Same thing with Ant-Man and the Wasp. You know, for Quantuminium, if you go back to your Ant-Man roots, because Paul Rudd, Kev, you said it. He's a fantastic comedian, fantastic actor, amazing Ant-Man, but you gotta let him flourish. And I forget the actress' name who plays Wasp, but she's great too. Like in Ant-Man, she was a great character, and the writing was just off in the second one, and they just need to reevaluate that. And that's why, like, for me, those two are just at the bottom, because those other two films were just such letdowns to me.
You make very good points. You make very, very good points, because Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think, coming off of Ant-Man, the expectations were pretty. I think a lot of people didn't have expectations for Ant-Man, and then when they watched it, they were pleasantly surprised. And I think Ant-Man and the Wasp, the bar was set pretty high from the first Ant-Man, and I think a lot of us were let down, me included. I agree with you, man. I didn't think that movie was very strong. And Guardians 2, I think, Ty, we went to go see that together, and we both were pretty disappointed in that. We felt like the humor was pretty forced. So, and I think that those words traveled, I would think.
Yes.
And that's why I'm kind of looking forward to them, because I think I'm trying to be optimistic and hoping that they'll clean up those mistakes.
Yeah.
And with the new Ant-Man and Wasp film and Guardians Volume 3, it'll wash away those second films. I don't know, Marcus, what do you think about that?
That's why Kevin Feige fired James Gunn, was because of Volume 2. No, they won't say it.
Yeah. Do you think that was like? Do you think that was part of the reason?
They said it was for all those old tweet posts from like 25 years ago. But you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like no, that movie sucked. You know what? You're out. He's probably tough like that.
Did you not like Volume 2, Marcus? I don't know if I ever.
No, we never really talked about it. I haven't. The amount of times that I've watched that movie, which may be 1.5. And the half came from, it was on TV and it was kind of just on in the background. The fact that I only saw it that many times compared to God knows how many for Guardians Volume 1 just shows me that I probably didn't enjoy it as much as I liked the first one. That being said, I am a fan of Redemption, and I would love to see Volume 3 do really well and be a home run. And be everything that we want it to be and more, because I don't know if it'll be the last one. Maybe it'll be the last one. I'm not sure. Because they're gonna pop up in other movies too, so we don't know if they're gonna get a fourth. But I would like this third one to be really great. And same thing for Ant-Man and Wasp. Is this considered their sequel? Because she wasn't in the first one. I mean, she wasn't in the first one as Wasp.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Yeah.
it's basically it's Ant-Man 3,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's Ant-Man.
We call it
Yeah.
Ant-Man 3.
It's Ant-Man 3.
Kev, like you were saying, the expectations for the first one. I mean, I was like, I'm going to see it because Paul Rudd's in it, and it's the next MCU movie, so I'm going.
Yep.
And then I remember watching it, being like, "Holy shit, this was great! I love this movie.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. I love it." And then the second one was, I didn't hate it, but it didn't move me. It didn't make me super pumped to be. And basically, the setup got me more hype for like Infinity War and Endgame
Good point.
than
Yeah.
the movie itself did.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that too, just because I want to keep seeing it, man. But yeah, I can agree that those movies are probably not as high on my wish list as the others that I mentioned before.